Beach.
Cool, awesome. Sir, tell us about the Grand Prix Long Beach racetrack. Your riding experience with that.
Okay, the Long Beach Grand Prix, that's located about an hour and a half from where I
Mm-hmm.
live,
Mm-hmm.
maybe an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And every year
Mm-hmm.
there's I believe it's like an Indy car race.
Mm-hmm.
They turn the city into a racetrack,
Mm-hmm.
and they allow people to skateboard on the racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
They close it down for maybe 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and they let people ride on an actual racetrack.
That's cool.
And that's an event. It's kind of like Ciclavia,
Mm-hmm.
but on a racetrack
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
once a year though. So
That's
it's
awesome.
really it's a treat if you get to ride on the racetrack, because
Cool. Do
it's
you still
once a
find
year.
the rubber pieces of tires on the sides of the roads, or like? Yeah. Oh,
Yep. The marbles, they
yeah.
would call them in
Okay.
racing.
Uh-huh.
The pieces of rubber. Yeah, definitely. They're on the side of the road, so
Uh,
you want to make sure you want to skateboard in the middle,
uh-huh.
because you will get stopped by that rubber.
Okay. Do a lot of people participate in that? Uh,
Unfortunately, they hold it specifically on in the middle of the week
okay.
at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So there's not too many people
Okay.
that have that opportunity. I
Okay.
know whenever that event
Mm,
would happen,
mm.
I would just tell my work, hey, I'm not going to be in. I'm going to this event. So yeah.
Cool. So tell us about your SSUP setup.
Um, for distance, my SSUP setup
Mm.
is just a
Mm-hmm.
top mount
Mm-hmm.
skateboard
Mm-hmm.
with don't trip poppies in the front
Okay.
and then the back. Um, and right now I'm riding megawatts,
Okay.
seismic
Okay.
megawatts,
Mm.
and then on a Pantheon Wiggler. That's
Okay.
kind of been my distance top
Okay.
mount right now.
The length of the
But
axle of the trucks.
um, running, I believe the slimmest one. I think they're
Okay.
155s, 154s,
Okay.
something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
between 120 to 155. Yeah. Okay. So shorter
Yeah,
ones.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm there. Yeah, because it fits the Wiggler really nice.
Okay.
I'm like not too big on the technicalities of the gear.
Okay.
I'm more of like, hey, how does it feel, or
Okay.
how does it look? How does it look? Does it look good?
Oh yeah, almost.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. Any specifics on the bushings? Like you're cool with the stock ones?
Uh, the bushings I usually use like Riptide ones, but
Okay.
I'm trying the seismic.
Hmm.
They have like bushings,
Hmm.
and they seem to be working pretty good. And
Okay.
yeah, I
Cool.
think the goal for me on that setup, because the wheels are 90 millimeters,
Hmm.
is to not get wheel bite.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
always kind of my issue with top mount
Okay.
pumping,
Okay.
is that you get wheel bite. You get wheel bite.
Hmm.
So
Stack up
it's
with
hard to
races.
find it's hard to find like the sweet spot, especially if you know you're gonna push
Hmm.
or you're gonna kick.
Hmm.
You want to be like a little bit lower.
Hmm.
Obviously, you could kick a higher board, and I've kicked miles on
Hmm.
really tall boards.
Hmm.
But yeah, this one I think I just have a half-inch riser and like
Okay.
a small angle, a seismic angle
Hmm.
on it, and then the wheel wells on the Pantheon
Hmm.
Wiggler.
Hmm.
It's like perfect. Like I get like this close, like
Hmm.
very close to wheel biting,
Hmm.
but I don't wheel bite at all.
You have any cutouts on the board for the wheel to avoid the wheel bites?
Yeah, the wheel wells on the Wiggler, yeah,
Okay.
they just come on the board,
Mm.
and that's a lot of the reason why I picked those trucks so they fit like perfect, like the
Okay.
fitment. If if you're into cars or whatever, it's like how it's like super nice and tight, like
Okay. Cool.
perfect.
So about your paddle,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a rattan bamboo. What height,
Uh,
diameter?
okay. So right now I use a SUP skates paddle
Mm-hmm.
because it's adjustable.
Okay.
It allows me to, if I'm gonna do like kicking
Mm.
or if I need to put it in my car,
Mm-hmm.
I can like fit it in the back of my truck
Okay.
easily. Um, but for rattan,
Mm.
for the Western paddle, I use like a, a stiff flex, I guess, like
Okay.
a not yeah, it's flexy. It's really flexy,
Okay.
but it's around 7 feet, I think, 7 feet tall.
Okay.
Um, and so, yeah,
Cool.
that's what I use. And then for my subskate sports one, I do like kind of like a fist above my head, that
Okay.
height,
Okay.
and then yeah, and that I like having the handle on the top because it kind of definitely allows you to use your back muscles more
Me too. Me too.
versus
Yeah.
versus your shoulders and arms.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Thanks. 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 What do they have on Vesa paddles? Like a Kong ball or like on the tip? You know, is that a Kong ball or like it's
Uh,
a big silicone ball specifically designed by Vesop paddles?
are you talking about the West sub paddles?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the bottom where you touch the ground, or on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
top
Bottom. Bottom.
part? On the bottom, it's like yeah, like a rubber ball
Okay.
that is used. Yeah, a brand called Kong. They make pet toys.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
predicted. Good.
they
Thanks.
yeah, they're pretty good.
Okay.
They function.
Cool. Cool. So,
Yeah.
what kind of SSUP setup would you recommend for a beginner or a big size rider like me?
Big size beginner. I definitely run the Subskate Sports Endurance,
Hmm.
the 60.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like just out of the box.
Okay.
You get it out of the box and it's like good to go. Like you
Cool.
don't need to buy trucks or buy wheels or do anything. It's
Mm.
just out of the box.
Mm.
That's like
Mm.
a good stand-up paddle board,
Mm.
or like I think a Pantheon Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a good board. But
Cool.
if you wanna like build your board, I would
Okay.
start with that, and then everything else is really up to you.
Okay.
I definitely think having a top mount board
Okay.
is kind of key, so you can like put your weight
Mm-hmm.
onto it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I learned that this past ultra because I had a setup that was made for kicking, uh, push paddle,
Mm.
because I didn't know I was going to be on the team relay straight paddle only.
Mm-hmm.
So when after paddling for miles on my low board,
Mm.
it started raining, and then I switched to a top mount
Okay.
board,
Yeah.
and it was just night and day. Like I could tell immediately. Oh, like dang, like I could lean into this way more. I could put my weight on it, and like really use my back to
Mm.
kind of like propel myself,
Mm.
and that kind of gave me an extra wind
Mm.
to finish the race strong.
Cool.
So it makes a difference
Uh,
with paddling. Like you want a top mount
okay.
for paddling.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks. So, what are all the races you have participated in your career in distance skating?
So I think back in 2015 was like a heavy race year for me. I did the Ultraskate,
Okay.
and then I did Chief Ladiga,
Okay.
the Silver Comet, that
Cool.
race, and then the marathon race, Adrenalina.
Okay.
That was another race I've done.
Oh.
But every year I try to do Ultraskate. That's like my
Okay.
main one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then but I want to do other races though.
Okay. Cool. So
Hmm.
congratulations on the first 200-mile record with Ultraskate Miami 2015. Can you recollect any experience from Ultraskate 2015 that you could share with us?
It felt really good. The year before that,
Mm,
2014,
mm,
I wanted to do 200,
mm,
but I ended up coming up short. I ended up doing like
mm,
170 miles or something.
mm, mm,
So 2015 was a really good year for me
mm,
to like this is my comeback story.
mm,
I
mm,
trained harder, and I worked on my power
mm, mm,
because you got to be kind of strong to do a lot of mileage.
mm, mm,
You know, strong physically, but also strong mentally.
mm,
So I think that's what I worked on for 2015, and that's like my major lesson, I guess, for that year was working on the power of the mind.
mm,
Because when you're doing ultra and you're 12 hours in, your mind starts playing tricks on you.
mm,
It makes you want to quit.
mm, mm,
You just thinking about is, man, I want to hang out. I just want to
mm,
chill. I want to rest.
mm, mm,
But you got to be able to tell your mind like, no, like don't do that.
mm, mm,
So if you want big miles,
mm.
like pay, put in big work now.
I understand. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that
So
experience.
now, yeah, yeah. No
Cool.
problem.
Cool. Thanks. So I read your post about Dutch Ultraskate 2019, your experience with the food. And I want to congratulate again for your 200-mile record with the pushing. And can you please share us or suggest as an advice for people like it's what to take, you know, during an Ultraskate
Okay.
on a different
Yeah, I
country,
think
different land, Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a that's the main probably I'd say it's like 75% of what can dictate your success and failure
Mm,
in an ultra skate.
mm,
And for us as skaters back then,
mm-hmm.
or for me at least, nutrition was really information was hard to come by back then. So
Oh, I
for
understand.
2015,
Ah,
I was eating like fruits and beans and rice and bananas,
mm,
things like that.
mm,
Um, in 2015, and then when I came back in 2019, I
mm.
didn't have any knowledge either. Like I didn't even try to get better. So in
Oh,
2019, I think I don't even know what I was eating, like pickles.
oh.
Like I was eating beef jerky or tuna
I
jerky or
understand. I
something.
understand. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and so because someone had told me, oh, make sure you get like this many calories per hour, like
Mm,
350 calories
mm,
per hour.
mm,
And so for me back then, calories was like food,
mm,
but essentially, all calories are is just you know fuel
mm,
you
mm,
could burn.
mm,
So it could just be straight up like sugar, or it could be a piece of bread, or it could be a broccoli.
mm,
But so that's really what you got to dial in for yourself
mm, mm,
as a ultra skate, as a distance skater. Is like what works for you
mm,
when you're 30 miles in. What do you want to eat?
mm, mm,
When you're 60 miles, when you're tired,
mm,
and you don't want to drink water. Like, what's going to make you feel good?
mm,
And so that's basically what the ultra journey was about. And so in 2019, I learned about that. It just I I had wanted to do big mileage,
mm,
but
mm,
like I said, I was inexperienced. I learned
mm, mm.
how to properly
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and somehow I managed 200 miles.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, I get it.
yeah, that was bad. I was in the bathroom. I was like having diarrhea. My stomach was
Oh, yeah.
just yeah. It's hot that ultra skate too because they were giving out people sponges for people to like douse
Uh,
themselves with water.
uh,
So yeah, honestly, it was a miracle getting to in 20 hours
mm,
on that event, and then I just slept. I slept for the rest
I
because
understand. I understand. Must
it
have been tough.
yeah it
Yeah.
was
It
hard.
was a learning
Yeah, it was
for us
hard.
too. Yeah. Yeah. I understand
Yeah,
as you say.
yeah.
So I saw you, like giving yourself a break for 30 minutes when you were in Ultraskate Miami when it was raining for you in 2023. How did you manage in Dutch Ultraskate 2023? It's known to be raining for half of the time.
So let me make sure. So you saw me hanging out in the rain. So
Ah,
in the 2023, when
ah,
2023, it rained
ah,
just for a little bit.
ah.
Usually, like in 2020 at Miami, it
Mm.
rained
Much
like
longer.
for a long time. Like it
Oh,
was
ah.
like 6 8 hours of
Oh,
rain and wind. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. So compared to the 2023, it wasn't that bad. It was nice. It was nice and you
so,
know
okay.
a change of
Wet,
pace. Yeah.
wet doesn't bother you much. You love to skate in a wet condition as well.
Yeah, well, for ultra, you have to skate. If you
Mm,
stop,
mm,
you're
mm,
wasting time.
mm.
Uh, at ultra, you got to keep going. You either got to, be consistent
Uh,
or, just figure it out. But yeah, you want to keep skating all the time. For me,
mm,
growing up,
mm,
skateboarding in the rain is
mm,
something I love to do.
mm.
So I don't mind it. It
Thanks,
could be
thanks.
worse.
That's a learning for me as well because like I don't go out when it is raining. I used to do it, but nowadays I take a little bit, back, and when it is dry, I would go. But it's a learning for me. Thank you, thank you, sir. Yeah,
Yeah.
sir. About the SSUP boards that you were using, it was big, long, and heavy. What do you suggest? A heavy board or a lightweight board for doing stand-up paddling?
For doing stand-up paddling,
Mm.
I mean, it's really preference. If you're wanting to do long distance
Okay.
on stand-up paddle,
Mm-hmm.
then I would suggest a lighter board.
Okay.
Obviously, still top mount, but lighter board
Mm-hmm.
and not too flexy.
Mm-hmm.
But for cruising and like having fun,
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely prefer a heavier board
Okay.
because when you paddle on like a heavy board,
Mm.
it's just more momentum.
Mm.
So there's more weight, so
Mm.
it kind of carries you more.
Mm.
Like the little bumps in the road or the rocks,
Mm.
you don't feel them. You
Mm.
don't feel them as much because you're in like a big, luxurious
Mm. Mm.
skateboard.
Mm.
So it's like comparable to like going through the ocean. Like
Mm.
you're going through the ocean on a big boat or
Mm.
you're going through on a small boat. If you're on a small boat, you're going to feel every wave.
Mm. Mm.
Well, on a big boat, you're just going to, you're not going to feel all the small waves.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So it's really about comfort. If you're going for comfort and like fun
Mm.
and you're going to be riding on a flat surface,
Mm.
then I'd definitely go for like big and heavy
Mm.
because
Yeah. Okay.
it's just fun.
I get it.
Yeah.
Thanks. 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 So
Mm-hmm.
I saw you doing some stand-up paddling in the sea. Kindly share your
Uh-huh.
experience about doing SUP. You know,
Well,
on the
whenever I visit my
waters.
dad who lives,
Ah.
yeah, when he lives in Hawaii,
Ah.
and so we always go paddling when we go out there.
Cool.
It's really fun. Yeah,
Ah.
I enjoy it.
Ah.
It's like for me, I think it's really fun. It's like a really good activity in
Ah.
the water.
Ah.
I'm not really a swimmer,
Mm. Mm.
and I have surfed and I do
Okay.
enjoy surfing,
Okay.
but yeah, but stand up paddle that's kind of like for me a good way to get a
Okay.
kind of like a workout in
Ah.
and stay dry for the
Oh,
most part.
cool. Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, who are your inspiration and SSUP? You know.
Shoot. I mean, my inspiration in SSUP,
Uh huh.
people in general.
Okay.
I think Andy Andrus right now,
Uh huh.
just because he's like pushing the sport
Mm-hmm.
of distance stand up paddle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's like what we were trying to do back then. Like, obviously, we got into the sport, and my inspiration back then was just trying to get better, just progress, do slides, sliding with the pole or like do tricks. And then obviously with distance now, my brother was pushing that envelope back then. And then there was kind of a stagnation in the sport, and Andy found that gap, and he just started pushing stand up paddle distance. So I think he set like a new world record, 274 miles in 24 hours paddling only, which is ridiculous. Yeah, he's definitely like my inspiration. I text him, and I'm just like, hey, like this is crazy what you're doing. So I definitely, he did 300 miles, 300 plus miles
Yeah.
kicking,
Yeah.
and then he did, over 250 paddling. So, basically we're in the same category, but I just need to level up. Now I feel like I have to do 300 miles kicking and then like at least 250 miles paddling,
Awesome.
because it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Someone's done it,
Yeah.
and he's done it. So I'm going to be right behind him, just like trying to get, trying to up myself, because that's, as for me as a person, and I think I told you in our previous conversation, like
Yeah.
always do your best,
Yes.
always do your best. You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. So it's like, why am I going to do ultra, or why am I going to do anything if I'm not going to try to be the best? Obviously, if I'm not the best, I understand there's always going to be someone better than you,
Yeah.
but you have to try to be your best, and that's the type of effort you have to put through, because otherwise you're just wasting your time. So so
Awesome.
yeah, he's definitely he's a big inspiration for me. But just like I said, myself and my family, those are like inspirations for everybody. That should be inspiration for
Awesome.
everyone
That's
to
awesome.
be their best,
Okay.
at anything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's quite a wisdom that I've got. Like wish I had that clarity at your age. So you always like when you were talking about the Ultraskate 2023, you were pointing your finger upwards. So he was there with me, guiding me forward to complete 312 things. So was he your inspiration as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a spiritual person.
Yes.
By he, obviously, God, but also my brother. He just passed. So he passed away in June of 2022.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, last year.
Tough year.
So you know, for Ultraskate 2022. Yeah, 2022. He was battling cancer. When so I was, he had no energy, and I would go visit him where he was staying near the hospital, and yeah, I had to train in the middle of the night, so uh, he definitely helped. He was one of my kind of like foundations, my rocks for when I was training. When I, I would go there and I'd work out with him. Like one time I did 1,000 squats, with a weight vest, I think it was like a 40 pound weight vest. And yeah, so he didn't think I could do it. So that's how my brother was. So since he passed away, I always just like look up to the sky whenever I think of him. Whenever times are hard or times are good or something happens, I'm like, yo, like thank you God, thank thank you, my brother, for watching over me. Yeah, definitely that's what I'm looking up at. And I know he's watching over me because he always wanted me to be good, or like, my mom said that he would just like, was really happy to see me do good because he's my older brother, my only brother. Yeah, he's four years older than me.
Oh.
So I'm the youngest. So I'm a baby. Um, so yeah, I mean, he definitely helped me mentally and spiritually get get through a lot of the rough times that
I got
yeah.
it.
So yeah.
Respects to him. Great. Awesome.
Yes.
Cool. Sir,
Uh-huh.
sir, I saw you doing all the wonderful training with uphill, with SSUP, and I saw
Yeah.
you come down on a downhill, sliding, doing laybacks and
hmm
everything. So, is there any stream called uphill SSUP or downhill SSUP?
I mean, like, you're not really. I mean, it's not popular. I know people do climb hills doing paddling. And is there any races? No. Will there ever be a race? Maybe. But it's so hard. It's like it's
Yep.
so difficult. It's
Yeah.
almost like not efficient.
Okay.
A lot of what skateboarding and distance skateboarding is about being efficient. It's not really necessary. Whereas like downhills, paddling would be really cool, and it is cool. Um, I think SSUP was the only people who made sticks with like the hard plastic on this
Such a
on the
durability. Yeah.
yeah. We used to call it a slide tip, and
Oh,
it worked. It
awesome.
worked really well,
Oh,
and yeah, if you should check it out. And
yeah.
so it does exist, and I do. I have always thought that there would be a place for it in downhill, but the gloves, sliding with the gloves, it's just so much easier. You don't have to carry a big stick around, this and that. You just have gloves. So, I mean, the only place I saw that it might be beneficial is that like you could like instead of just tucking, you could like stand up and paddle your way
Okay.
downhill
Okay.
and then tuck. You know what I mean? So you
Yeah.
could create more momentum because I think you could paddle at a faster speed. Like when you're going, like you could paddle at 30 miles per hour, but you can't, step off your board and
Okay.
kick
Okay.
at 30 miles per hour
Okay.
because you'll fall. But with the paddle, you could kind of like nudge yourself along,
Cool.
especially if it's flattening out or something.
Cool. 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 Sir, I've seen few women SSUP riders riding along with you in other places like Chiclovia or in California. Tell us about them, their part in SSUP. Uh,
Uh, well, so yeah, like I said, my wife does it, but as far as distance, like competing, I know there's another woman, Julia Seifer Smith, I believe. I think she holds the record at like 100 miles paddled in 24 hours. So, um, it's definitely a challenging sport. Um, but I think they could, anyone could do it, and any gender
cool.
can skateboard, and anyone can do anything. But
Cool.
yeah, there are definitely women there that are pushing the sport, and yeah,
Cool.
they
Cool.
exist.
Thanks. Thanks. Sir, I've heard about Broadway Bomb. Tell us about the South Beach Bomb. Uh,
The South Beach bomb was, I think, something they were doing around like 2015, that time when those races were like at its peak. So it was a race, for I don't know what streets they were, but I think it was Collins or Ocean, and it was an unsanctioned race through South Beach, Miami, and I think it was about 9 miles
Okay.
or less, maybe less, but
Okay.
there was a lot of competitors. And it was the day they have it the day after the ultra, so everyone's pretty sore.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a fun race. There's cars, there's
Yeah.
bikes, there's you're running red lights, things
Yeah.
like that, and it was a really great experience. I think I ended up getting ninth place
Okay.
in that race.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a real fun race, honestly.
Okay.
If you ever get a chance to do any outlaw race,
Yeah.
it's really good if you like adrenaline rushes, for
Cool.
sure.
Cool. Probably it exists for
Yeah.
30 minutes or so. That's it, right?
What's up?
30 minutes would be the max cap time for South Beach Bomb.
I think so. I think it was like around 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, like just a full sprinting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Guess we have come to the end of our interview session. Thanks for being so
Okay.
patient. You've been answering all my questions, very, like in detail, and listening to it, taking it, internalizing it, and giving back. It's for the distance skating community, not only for me. Thanks for being so patient and helpful. If you have any message for distance skating community, the stage is yours. You can go ahead and say that.
Yeah, I would, first of all, thank you to all the organizers of the events. Those people, they put in a lot of work, for me and the people that I seen, like Joner and Andy and all the people behind the scenes, the IDSA, they're putting in a lot of work to, make the sport go. Yeah, I mean, I just want to say thank you to them because without them, I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff. Everyone loves skateboarding and everyone just wants to have fun. So I think it's always hard to make a competition. So yeah, but I think we're all here for the same reason, and that's just to learn about ourselves and to like find people that we could get along with. So being able to travel and meet people around the world and make friends around the world is such a unique opportunity. And, like I said, with people with like minds. So I'm definitely just thankful for everybody pushing the sport, everyone making their own boards, everyone putting in mileage. I see the people in Singapore. I see the people in Amsterdam, I see the people in Europe, everywhere, South America. They're just, doing the same thing I'm doing, just loving it. So yeah, that's all I would say is just keep doing what you're doing. Try to pick up a stand-up paddle here and there. And definitely always always try to be your best, and, everything will be good. So I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Oh no, you
to
made
meet,
it.
Yeah.
You created this, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, check it out. Handboards, SSUP skate sports. They got paddles. They're lightweight. They flex enough. The world record holders use that stuff. So yeah, definitely check out some stand up paddle. It'll be fun, and it's for all ages. And yeah,
cool.
Enjoy it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate you. Peace, love, blessings.
Nandri. Yeah.
Take care.